Okay. Is it recording?
Yes.
Good. So that everybody knows. So I'm just cutting up a whole onion and it's going to be diced. And when we get to the bean part, we'll show that too. All right. So we can get everything together. All right. So we chopped up a whole onion. All right. And we're just going to make sure that it is cut finely so that we don't have anybody saying, oh, look, there's a big old chunk of onion in there. Although a lot of people like a big old chunk of onion. But I've never heard anybody complain about a small piece of onion. So, unless it's kids. But we don't have any kids coming today or for this get-together. It's all adults. I don't know. My great-grandkids will be here and they're kids. But they like my food, so that's all right. All right, one onion. That goes into the pot. All right. Yeah, you can go sit down, Kimmy. Yeah, you still can go sit down. All right, get that pepper. Pull everything out. And we're going to dice this pepper as well. Whoop. Let's just get that right off the edge there. Okay.
Silly.
All right. And we are good there. And then you can give these also a quick chop just to make sure everything is chopped. But these are going to get a little cook to them before we add the beans. Okay, there. Now we're doing this garlic. And I got a bunch of garlic here. And we're just going to give this a nice whack. All right, good. So we got that. All right, get that in a nice pile. Now, sometimes some people will take the germ out of the garlic clove so that it's not as strong. Makes it a little milder. So if you want to take the germ out, feel free to do so. But we don't need to for this. All right. All right, that's it for that. Now we just need to add some olive oil. This is just regular olive oil. It is not extra virgin. All right. And we're just going to get things cooking here. All right. Now, as far as this goes, this is smoked beef sausage. Only because some of the guests that we have coming are sensitive to pork products. So we are going with beef. We're not doing any pork products for this holiday. Everything is beef. So I used to cut things in much smaller pieces, but my sister has informed me that it's better to have big chunks of sausage than it is to have little pieces. I used to cut it in little pieces. That way it seemed like you had more sausage.
That's what I do.
But she likes them big and chunky, and I have found that no one complains if the sausage is big and chunky. So we cut big chunky pieces of sausage. And we're going to get these nice and toasty before we get the beans in there. All right, that's our beans startup. Going, and we want to put in a little Worcestershire sauce, and we don't want.
Oh, we're blurry, very blurry.
Are we good? Are we recording?
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So we just added some Worcestershire sauce to this. We just want to get this cooking so that we can brown this sausage and get our vegetables cooking. And then we have some more things to add. But keep in mind, you don't want to season anything yet. All right. So I don't know where we left off. We're having a little camera difficulty. But you want to get everything cooking, but you don't want to season it very much to start with, because as it cooks down, your flavors will concentrate. So if you put any seasoning in it now, it's going to be over-seasoned by the time it's ready. So you want to wait until it's cooking and you get closer to the end product before you put in any seasoning. All right, so these are jalapenos, and I know I've got some serranos down in here. Well, there's one. All right, there we go. So if you don't like it spicy, this is a completely optional step. If you don't like spicy food, don't do this. Because I am the opposite of that. You can't make it too spicy for me.
Me too.
So I'm good to go with that. So we're gonna get this going. All right. The carrots just come in with the pickled peppers. So you can leave them in if you want, and I do. Or you can take them out. But I always remove the stems. I've seen other places and other people just chop up the stems and leave them in there, but I don't like the stems. I think it adds a woody texture, which is not pleasant to the palate.
See, I only use them in the chili relleno. When you leave the pepper whole.
Right, if you're going to cook something with a whole pepper, you can leave that in there. All right, so we got all that. So we're just going to and now, and as you can see, I leave the seeds in. Yes, we're not afraid of capsaicin. But if you want to have the strong flavor of jalapenos and serranos, you may take the seeds out and remove the pith. That makes it a little less strong, a little less spicy, but you'll get all the flavor. But I kind of like it full flavored, so there we go. And that carrot will be cooked into oblivion over the time that this is on the grill. These are all going to go on the grill. So That's our peppers. Get them in. Good. Give everything a nice stir. And we want to get it nice and browned before we put the beans in. But if you want to see what I'm doing over here with the beans, all right, this is 2 pounds of light red kidney beans. And they have been soaking since last night, since yesterday. So we're going to drain this water off. And this is a round bottom bowl, so you don't have to tip it very far to get the water out. So that's plenty of beans. Lots of beans. Lots and lots of beans. All right. And look, they've already sprouted.
I can grow you.
Just from one night in water. But we're gonna eat these. All right. And one more drink. And they've been they were rinsed before I put them in. There we go. All right. We'll fill that up with water so that when we add the beans, they'll already have some moisture with them. We won't go into a hot pan with no moisture. So put these over here while this cooks. So we don't want to record them now. Okay. So we've got these cooking down. They're losing all their moisture, you see down here in the bottom. And they're getting brown and toasty, and all the vegetables are nice and caramelized. So we're going to add these beans. There we go. And as you can see, that makes a nice, healthy portion of red beans and smoked sausage. All right. Now, these are not going to be sweet like barbecued beans. These are going to be like southern beans. All right. So we're just going to turn it and make sure we get everything mixed in good. So we get everything mixed evenly. And then those need to cook. And those will go on the grill. We'll give you updates as they come in.